So I'm reading this article right here from New York Post. And what it suggests is that the alleged whistleblower, in other words, phony whistleblower, Eric Ciaramella, that he had been at the White House and also CIA, and that according to this open source intel, he was transferred back to CIA because he had leaked negative information about Donald Trump, President Trump, to the press. So if this open source intel is correct, the phony whistleblower, Eric Ciaramella, he's a fucking leaker. He's a fucking goddamn leaker. Which would make sense why the disgraced Mark Zaid would pick up Eric as a client because, well, you know, Mark Zaid's a fucking disgraced attorney, and he's the one that said back as Trump was being inaugurated, back when Donald Trump was being inaugurated, that the mission of his, that is Mark Zaid, was to impeach the president, have him removed from office, to have Donald Trump removed from office. So the plan was in effect a long time ago. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And of course, Eric was, according to the sources I've been reading and following, he's he worked with John Brennan. So you have fucking two traitors at CIA. One of them's DCI. And according to sources who believe that the following is the case, Eric Ciaramella was also a fucking traitor, and an anti-Trumper. And so there you go. You got the DCI who's against Trump. You have a subordinate, Eric Ciaramella, under the DCI, who's leaking, according to sources, leaking negative information about Donald Trump. And then you have this motherfucking Mark Zaid, who was saying that Donald Trump was going to be removed from office just as Donald Trump was being inaugurated. And so Mark Zaid, the disgraced DC attorney, then becomes the attorney for, according to sources, Eric Ciaramella. I mean, it makes perfect sense, man. These people are involved in a coup attempt against the United States, and the fucking DCI, former director of Central Intelligence, was in on it, according to my sources and according to what I've read, and it seems, well, at this juncture, it seems pretty fucking crystal clear. Yeah, and that's why John Durham is involved. And that's why it looks like, for the first time, I mean, I believe it would be the first time in U.S. history, unless I'm mistaken, it looks like John Brennan's probably going to be going to prison for a very long time. It looks like John Brennan, former DCI, is going to be going to prison for a very long time. And it looks like James Comey and Andrew McCabe will be as well. I wonder how many other officials. Oh, and then, of course, Eric, if it turns out that he, in fact, is the phony whistleblower because it's phony information, well, I'm pretty sure that it's illegal to be at CIA and leak information to the press. I'm pretty sure that violates all kinds of shit. But, you know, when John Brennan was in office, you know, I mean, fuck, they just exonerate people and look the other way. So, you know, it's all coordinated, man. It was all orchestrated, and that's why John Durham is involved. So if it turns out that Eric is, in fact, the fake-ass whistleblower, well, then it's clear that these sources were absolutely factual and accurate and correct in that, according to them, he's a fucking leaker. He's a leaker under John Brennan. John Brennan was lying to the public and the world, saying that Donald Trump was essentially paranoid, and it was all an orchestrated fucking coup attempt. And then enters and steps Mark Zaid to represent Eric Charamella. Yeah. Something like that. Let's see how fucking accurate it turns out to be in the future. I'm one Sir Grove. Oh, and by the way, like I said, New York Post. I'll give you the date here. 12 December 2019 at 6:05 p.m. And this is by the editorial board. And the title is, quote, "Here's the likely whistleblower and the questions he should answer." Oh, man, these fucking coup plotters, man, they're absolutely going to fucking federal prison. Watch how it plays out. When John Durham gets involved, according to what I've read, it doesn't look good for these deep state fucking traitors to America.